bring in here now. I'm joined by a special guest, and I'm really lucky to be joined by Tal Hartouf, the survivor of a Hamas attack, now joining us from Machete near Jerusalem. Thanks for being with us, Tal. Look, firstly, if you're okay with this, I think it's important for our viewers to understand. If you could tell us about the attack personally that you survived.
Of course, and thank you for having me on your show, and keep up the really great work. 13 years ago, I'm a Jewish, Israeli, British-born tour guide, and I was taking a Christian-American client on a hike on Shabbat in the state of Israel, for those people who don't know, near Beit Shemesh. And it was there in one of the most beautiful places in our country that we were accosted by two machete-wielding Hamas terrorists who pounced on us and held us at knife point for half an hour. Our lives are swinging in the balance. And I'm sorry, it's so hard for me to talk about it.
Absolutely. Take your time.
Yeah, can I smoke in the into it? No, really.
No problem.
Anyway, so I don't know, there's not words. There's no words for these kinds of atrocities. And it's even hard now to find the right words 13 years later, but our lives are hanging in the balance. I'm confused. Sorry, I know we Jews aren't politically correct, but I peed my pants. I'm sweating. I can't take my sweater off. I don't know what these terrorists want, okay? Because the thing is, when they pounced on us, I managed to stab one in the balls, and he didn't stab me back. He just took away my knife, right? So, and because I stabbed him, and he didn't stab me back, this adds to the confusion. But after half an hour, they get my backpack, and they start going through my stuff, and they take out my ID. And they can see I'm Israeli and I'm Jewish. And I guess from that, they assume that my Christian American client, Christine Lucan, is also an Israeli. I mean, Christine couldn't say anything. She was too terrified as well. So then it heats up. They tell me to take off my shoes. They take out my shoelaces. They tie our hands behind our back. And then they take off Christine's fleece. They're hacking it out with their machetes. They gag us. They take off my Magen David. And then, I got to tell you then, and I got to add something to this after, but they separate us by 2 meters, and they push us on our knees. I have to say this. They don't say, "Free Palestine," okay? Didn't hear any word about Palestine. They said, "Allahu Akbar." Yeah. It's Bahu al-Yud. Yeah. Allah is great. Slaughter the Jews. Right. And then they start slaughtering. They start butchering. And I'm on my side. I fall on my side with my hands tied behind my back. I'm threw up behind the gag. And he's leaning on me. And I'm telling you, he is plunging that machete so hard into me, I can hear my bones crunch. And it's getting stuck in bone, and I can hear him exasperated because he's having to try and tug out the knife, and then another time. I can hear my skin rip. I know when it's going in an organ and when it's... I'm thinking at the time I was 46 years old, and one of the thoughts is I'm 46 and I'm being murdered. This is hazui. Of course, I don't know how to say hazui, but this...
Indescribable.
It was so... Yeah, thank you. And then I had to make, this is the hard, it's all hard, but I had to make a choice, and I knew that the only chance I had was to play dead. So I kept my eyes open because that's how people die. And I'm just laying there on my side, and 2 meters away, I watch my American Christian friend chopped up like a vegetable. And she's writhing and squirming, and she's, they're doing that Allahu Akbar. She's saying, "Jesus, help me." And I'm saying, "Shema Israel." It's like this monotheism of a symphony. And after 13 stab wounds and numerous injuries, they leave, but they come back to do vidui hariga, like to check
Make sure you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and they turn me on my back, and now I'm looking up at these pines. It's the most beautiful sunset coming on, absolutely listless. And the next thing I see is this silhouette of his hand and this jagged machete. and it covers the sun. And I watch him plunge it into my chest, and that one missed my heart by 4 millimeters. Now they think I'm dead, and they leave, and then I have one last. I need a drink of water. So we'll be all right. One last commitment in life, and that is to get up and die nearer where I parked the car, so the police could find my body. And somehow, gagged and bound, I've got bones coming out of me. I managed to stand, and I turned my back on what's left of Christine Lucan, and step by step, I'm trying to walk back through the forest and just get nearer where somebody can find my body. And I'm so freezing cold from the shock and the lack of blood, but I managed to find help. And I did this walk. It was over a mile. I had 13 machete wounds, over 30 broken bones. I had bones splintered in my lungs and diaphragm. I had a collapsed lung. I had a crushed sternum. I had a dislocated shoulder, a broken shoulder blade, other injuries too. And I walked a mile. And the end of the story is, of course, Christine had been murdered. And it was due to be stabbing him that the police were able to extract his blood on my blood-soaked shirt. They got the DNA and they apprehended them within 24 hours.
Right.
And then they confessed to murdering another Israeli, Netanyahu Sorek, 10 months previously. And I must say this because I don't know how much time we have, and this is so important to me. And I will definitely send you the footage, and you can blast it all over your channel, all right? Israeli TV did a documentary, a chilling and very nuanced documentary about this attack. And they included in the 40-minute documentary, which is called Black Forest, which I subtitled with the help of amazing friends into English, they included part of the actual shihzor, like the reconstruction. Yes. And in Israel, I have to say, we bring back the murderers to the crime scene. So these are not actors. And you can see it for yourself from their own lips. The Shabak, the Secret Service, the police, they're walking with the terrorists and they say, "Why did you choose this place?" He answers, "We wanted to kill." Kill who? Jews.
Yeah.
So our man says, "But why?" And he says, "No reason, just because." And that is the essence of these pogroms and these crimes against humanity and these war crimes that we are experiencing at the moment. It is about centuries and centuries of the murder of innocent Jews. And I have to say, before I'm accused of being Islamophobic from all kinds of strange people who troll me, it was a Muslim surgeon who saved my life.
Wow. This is staggering on so many levels. Look, we have just about a minute left here with you, Tal. This has propelled you into helping others deal with the trauma, to make you, out. There's so many others suffering.
It's propelled me in the sense that I know I'm articulate. I didn't speak about this for 3 years. It was just too traumatic. I spoke in the UN, I spoke around the world, and I always spoke about the American European tax funders paying my would-be murderers, all right? So we shouldn't be caught by surprise by this, all right? They've been encouraged by these Western governments for years. It's just going on. My boys are getting thousands. So it hasn't encouraged me in any sense of humanitarian acts at the moment, but I realized, even though I don't like speaking about this, my people, your people, our people are under the most heinous existential attack since the State of Israel was born, and that is what propels me to speak. And I'll do it with any interview media channel that will have me. People need to know what terrorism does.
Tal Hartouf, running out of time, running to a live break here. Speechless listening to your account here. I can only thank you for having the fortitude to come on and share it with our viewers around the world who care deeply about the situation, trying to learn for themselves. Thank you again.
Angel.